Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy Veritas video, and this is going to be day 2. I guess technically it is day 2 of video requests from our viewers, and this is a video request: how to build premium units. Now we're going to be looking at 2 in general, 2 in specifically, but in general you can make this for most units in the game, despite them being magical or physical. Obviously you'd get them for magical if they're magical, and physical for physical. But we're going to be looking at these 2 here. And if they're a Brave Shift unit, we're going to be looking at that. I mean, this is a perfect example of how to gear a Brave Shift unit versus a SLB unit. So for a Brave Shift unit, typically, the weaker form, you would want to gear them for Clash Wills, because Clash Wills is the main mode you're all looking at. And so in Clash Wills, you want to be building for filler. You want to build them defensively. So obviously, you're still going to equip their STMR. Unless you can find something else. He has a lot of selections here. So you actually could make him very defensive if you'd like to, because his TMR is not the best, but it's a materia, and maybe if you have a materia slot you'd like to equip instead, because he's just getting this stuff here, and so maybe it's not even worth equipping his TMR. He's not going to be doing a lot of damage. I mean, he can do damage in his base form, but really you're gearing it for defensively. So anything that gives morale, you know, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So I think this is pretty fine. I mean, this could be anything for you guys. We have some morale here. We also have these Garbalities for more morale boosting. And if you're able to get those rings, if you're not using them on anyone else, then you put them. You could put them on them as well if you'd like. Typically, you know, the rings are probably going to be on your main DPS. I mean, if Hyoh is your main DPS, that's okay. That's alright. Apparently I don't have the rings on this account, but if they were there, then I would equip them, but apparently I don't have them on this account. I don't really do Clash Wills on this account. So depending on what you're looking like, you could put some more Clash Wills equipment on them, and then I have some status immunity. And also Philosopher's Stone Seeker, a classic. Pure Lotus, just for it's very similar. So if you don't actually have this, you could still equip Pure Lotus. It's almost the same. The reason why Philosopher's Stone Seeker is always really good, because it works before this one would work, so that's why it's better. And then obviously the best vision card you can equip. What do we have on this account? Let's find out. So here's Rain's vision card. I mean, he has decent attack for not even having much on. Now you could equip a defensive item on here and then equip a shield. That could also be an option for you guys if you'd like to have even more stats. And let's see what that's going to look like. So not much better, but it's one of the only DPS that's been a long time that can actually equip defensively like this. So I mean, it's not bad. Obviously, he's not going to be taking, you know, everything, because he's going to have a lot of you're gonna buff him up and have resistances and things like that. So he probably won't be tanking anyways. But you know, there are some bosses and things that do attacks that go through cover, and so sometimes it would be good to have like this. So that's for his base form. Now let's check out damage. And now this could be for anyone. This doesn't have to be just for Hyoh. It could be for anyone in this situation. Most times you want equipping for killers, which they already have quite a bit since they're a premium unit. LB damage. Let's see what they have without anything on. He already has 20% LB damage, but that's not going to be for everybody. But just for the Hyoh, it is possible. He has 300% LB damage already, which is quite good. So EX2 is probably where you'd like to be, and you get his STMR instead of his TMR, which is just okay, but it doesn't really help him. And then of course you're going to equip that on, and not any of that stuff. But if you don't have the crown, then you equip this instead, or you have some other kind of clothes, you equip that instead. I have this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then just your highest attack accessories. Sounds pretty good to me. What is this giving us? Don't need any of that. So yeah. Obviously, you guys who are doing Clash Wills a lot, I've done Clash Wills on my other account, but I don't have Hyoh on that account. I have it on this account, so I have to do this one. So I'm lacking a little bit of equipment in terms of that, but that's okay. So what is it looking like now? Obviously, still have 300% LB damage. We also have 100% leaf filler, which is decent for free. We need 100% TDH, so we can easily do that. We already have the chain cap, and so if you equip this, actually, even though its TMR is you know, it is what it is. But now he has 400% TDH. If you don't have his TMR or his STMR, then you equip that and you get his 400% TDH. Don't make sure to level up all of his things that he needs here. All of his passives and stuff here may help him out a little bit. And so now we're gearing for killers, and let's see if we can get as many 300% killers as we possibly can. We already have Stone and Insect for free. And why is that? He's on this. Actually, the best benchmark to do is Bahamut, because he has all the killers. So make sure if you're a new player, make sure to get Bahamut as soon as possible. It is the most useful Esper in the game. It gives you all the killers. And as you can see here, 250%. We have 250% for almost everything. This is going to be for most premium units, if not all premium units, especially at EX2 when you get the extra 100%. So here we go with this. We have 300% human and machine killer, which is good. Human is the easiest to get. Demon and human are probably the easiest to obtain. So with those are out of the way already, now we have a bunch of flexibility here for getting other things. So let's see what else. Let's see what other options we've got here in terms of killers. And what I'll be showing you in terms of killers, you can pretty much always get. There is not a lot of limited time killers that are good. Usually those limited time ones are like 25%, and those aren't really that good. So let's see what we have here for these options here. We have King of Beasts, so we can knock out 300% for Beast and Avian Killer already. So that's already a lot of flexibility. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not saying that we're going to be fighting, you know, every single race in the game or something. I'm just saying, look at all the flexibility that we possibly have in terms of. I'm just looking for random combinations and seeing if they exist. I haven't memorized all the killers and everything. I'm just seeing if any of them exist. And Fairy Killer is kind of harder to obtain, but that's alright. Looking like there's not a lot of combinations we can do that I probably am missing out on or don't have. That's alright, right? That's alright. Let's just put them by itself because I'm wasting time. I don't want this video to be way too long, so we have 300% Reaper Killer, and then we can just do one more of some random one like Dragon. Dragon's really easy to gear for, right? I'll just put that on. So now we have 300% killers for several races. I'm not saying this is what you're going to be doing, but I'm just showing you guys how easy it is to gear for killers. Again, against like a boss that has 3 races, there we go, done. We already have 300% LB damage. We have 400% TDH. What else would you possibly want? You're already all set. Like he's good to go. You would obviously enhance this to give him more stats if you'd like, but as you can see, we don't need any more attack. So you'd probably equip this. You'd probably enhance this for HP and MP, because the cost of abilities nowadays is quite high. As you can see here, to use this is 230 MP, and you don't really have ways to reduce that on physical damage healers, unlike on magic damage healers where there's a little bit more flexibility to do that. On physical damage healers, we don't really have that option, so definitely gear this for some MP for sure, because he's kind of lacking a little bit. He can only use a few things, and you need support for that. So his rotation would be in Clash of Wills. In a Clash of Wills setting, you'd be using his base form just to stall, to, you know, push downwards and defend most of the time. Maybe use a little bit of his abilities and things like that. They're okay, I guess. I mean, you're mostly setting yourself up and defending. In his Brave Shift form, obviously you're setting up with 150% amp, 100% amp, and then the other one I think is like 60%. Not all at the same time, of course, but in burst increments. And then you want to combo that, of course, with his cooldown. I don't know which one it is. The meme is kind of annoying. The refer to long description. I would kind of just tell me the one that has the LB mod boost. It's one of these guys. I promise you. It exists somewhere. It's somewhere in here, guys. It's somewhere in here, or maybe he doesn't have one. Most premium units do have an LB mod boost cooldown that you would definitely be using along with the 150% amp, and then on the very next turn you get to do a lot of damage. Of course, you're not going to want to do that right away on Clash of Wills bosses unless you're not doing mod fights. So this is pretty much applicable to everybody as long as they're a Brave Shift unit. Now, if they're an SLB unit, now you have a little bit less flexibility. Unfortunately, when it comes to SLB units, the flexibility is out the window. Now you got to make do with what you've got. So when it comes to this guy, he's a true dual unit, but you know, just talking in general, in terms of an SLB unit, you're gonna want to gear them physically or magically DPS wise, unless they're like a support. Obviously, a support SLB is there's quite a few of them, and obviously you're not gonna be dealing damage with them. But this guy's a breaker. This guy is a damage dealer, as you can see with the tags. And by the way, it doesn't matter which one shows first. Like if you're like a new player, and you're like, oh, he's a physical damage dealer first and a debuff for second. Their roles don't matter. Like they matter, but they're not. The positioning of them don't matter. Is what I mean. So he's both of these things together. So you definitely want to gear him as a physical damage dealer, and you can't really put anything defensively on him. Unfortunately, that's the problem with SLBs, is that they don't have another form you can use a lot of filler stuff on, unlike Hyoh. So it is what it is. And for his rotation, obviously you're going to be using his breaks, you're going to be using his SLB. I don't have him prepared right now, but you're going to be using his SLB for sure. Doesn't show me for some reason. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. You're going to be doing that for this 89% breaks. Outside of Clash of Wills, you can perform this, and in Clash of Wills, I don't remember if it allows you to see. Allows you to see some of these skills here. I believe the ones that you only can use Clash of Wills, I don't think they show up. I don't believe they show up. Maybe I'm blind. I think they only show up in Clash of Wills, unfortunately. But he has other things he can do instead of Clash of Wills as well. And so, just as the other one you want to gear for killers, he already has some, but I believe this guy does not. Oh, here it is. I don't have his TMR and STMR, but just pretend that all those were 100% more, right? Look how prepared I am for this video. Anyways, that's really it. There's not much else to it. Gearing premium units is very easy, and that's the reason why they're so hard to get, and that's why the reason why they're so stingy about shards and stuff is because they're much more easier to build and gear for than normal Neo Vision units that require more killers, more of this and that, whereas premium units have a lot of things already. As long as you get them to EX2, you get their STMR and all that kind of good stuff, and you're ready to go. I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But I think this is like the best you can get. Not best in slot. I'm not saying don't try typing down below. What about this equipment? What about this equipment? Why don't you have this on? I don't have the best equipment on this account. I said this at least 3 or 4 times in this video, but this is a general good idea of what you would want on both sides. Probably not this. I don't know. Let's see how much he loses. Not much. You could probably enhance this for more stats. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. I hope to see you in the very next video. Make sure to look at my community post, because I'm doing these first come, first serve, first request video that I'll make depending on what it is. Of course, if it's something outside of the scope of what I do on this channel, I probably won't be able to do it. But be sure to check the community post. See ya.